I am Sonam Rajani Gale. I am a daughter, a wife, a mother, and a cancer survivor. Yeah.
At some point in my life, I wanted to be a doctor because of the same reason, but life had other plans. So did my brains. My brain said, "No, you can't handle medicine. Please don't do it. We don't want."
So I was diagnosed in 2017. Uh, so initially, it started around mid of 2017 when I had given birth to both my twin girls in 2015. I was unable to breastfeed. I don't know if that's a contribution or not, but every time I went to the GP, he said that it was a blocked milk duct. He would send me home with antibiotics, and the swelling would reduce, but that lump itself would not in size. This happened twice. Eventually, I showed that lump to my mom, and my mom was, I think, moms being moms.
Yeah, yeah,
She had
definitely.
the gist, and she told me to go ahead and go and see a gynecologist. So I went to a very good female gynecologist.
Mm-hmm.
She then put me on antibiotics again and told me on the fifth day of the antibiotic, I need to go for a scan. So what it's called is it's a lumpectomy.
Mm-hmm.
With the lumpectomy, they remove the whole, I think, lump. Let's call it lump until I got the prognosis.
Yeah.
Um, and after a few days, I had to go back in, and he told me, "Oh, are you going to come in with somebody for your the final report?" So that already rings
That
bells, and you're
already.
like, "Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, why are you
Definitely.
asking me to come in with
Yes.
somebody?" So anyway, because I have a lovely extended family, which we all know about,
Yes, I think.
yes. So after this, we ended up going to India, and I had a single mastectomy. Even that again was a problem because I really wanted a double. The prognosis was it's a triple negative breast cancer. Triple negative breast cancers are generally harder to treat than hormonal based cancers. You know what? It's really funny because cancer now sounds like a common cold.
Exactly. Yes, definitely.
Every second or third person has it.
Yes.
But you know what? It's really good. Like has improved and evolved so much. Is that now
Absolutely.
cancer is not a death sentence?
There. Even during her last days when she was in ICU and I was just 10, my dad, I was in Kenya at that time and I went there. I landed at about 4 in the morning and my dad took me straight to the ICU. And the nurse is like, "What are you doing? She's so young." My dad is like, "You know what? At this point, she needs to see her mother and her mother needs to see her."
Of people, I'll be honest with you, a lot of people, when I was told that I had breast cancer, came and pointed fingers at me and they're like, "Oh, it's because of your lifestyle." And
Yeah,
this really used to hurt me. And then I reached a point where I was like, you know what? You don't even understand what I'm going through, where I've
absolutely.
come from, what type of a tumor it is. And
Correct.
so those are people that, you have to learn to choose to ignore. Because people are going to keep coming to you, talking to you, telling you things. And if you let these people get to you, they're just going to push you down. I
Yeah,
think
the
the
major support has to be from family. And I
yes, of
know for a fact that your family has supported you through thick and thin. They've
oh
been
yes.
with you, and because I've known you, they've been with you so strong. I have seen my family, my dad's mother, be with my mom during her last days, and my mom that during the last days, I still remember my dad used to tell, that my mom used to tell my dad.
So I used to have like one of my other cousins, she used to bring me popcorn every chemo, and that was my to go to. So
Yeah.
every time the chemo was being administered, I was munching on popcorn.
Yeah, like at that time, I don't even think we had vaccines for cervical cancers and stuff. Like right now, we
No,
have
they're
all of
okay.
those. Yes.
They
Yeah,
are
and
very close to their dad as well, and we are openly able to discuss
I
taboo
think this,
taboo
that
issues
is,
like
yeah,
periods,
that's
development,
so good.
and it's really important because as a father, it's really important for him as well. He feels like he has to play a part in it as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think fathers do play important roles when it comes to such, because again, when my mom was about to when the doctors had given the ultimatum, my dad had told me beforehand that this is going to happen. We don't know when.
Yeah.
Could be tomorrow,
Yeah.
it could be 2 months later, it could be 6, but it's going to happen. My family then told my dad, like, are you I think even something like cancer. People are so people get scared to even say if like somebody is a patient, they don't even want to share because they feel like, people will become judgy and people will say this and that. And I'm like, it's fine. It's
Kushbu,
just
let me
fine.
tell you something. Yeah, when I was undergoing my treatment, you've known me for really long. I used to
Yeah.
have so many friends and I always had gatherings to go for. And suddenly, when I was diagnosed and undergoing this treatment, these branches just started falling off. And at first, I was really upset. And I know I had a breakdown with Bunny, and I know I had a breakdown with my mom. And then I spoke to my dad. And these three people got together and told me that, do you realize that the people who are here now
Are the ones
are the ones that matter?
Absolutely.
Not they brought a wheelchair for me to go into theater, and I refused. And I said, I'm very capable of walking there.
Yeah.
I think it's giving myself a little bit of confidence, and I was really strong through all of that. I didn't cry. I know I cried when I left Nairobi. I really, really cried. So
Yeah.
I had a total of 16 chemotherapies.
Wow. Okay.
I had 4 that were the AC, which I used to call the red devil because of the infusion being red. And then I had, which was done at a span of 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of them were done on a weekly basis, which was Taxol. So I lost my hair, my eyebrows. Let me tell you something, you will learn while on chemo is when you learn the importance of nasal hair.
That's interesting. I remember when we met at whose wedding was it? 2018, right? Or was it 2017? It was in Mombasa, and I remember you were taking the oral chemos at that time.
Yes. So after I finished the chemotherapies, the infusions, I did 15 radiations, and then I was on oral chemotherapy for about 6 to 8 months. I can't really remember the exact time, but yeah.
So do they also have the same effects as the normal chemo?
Okay, so they don't, but they do have side effects.
Yeah.
So with oral chemo, a lot of people don't lose their hair. And again, this is now what I went through. I'm not sure about the other drugs.
Yeah,
and how it
definitely.
works.
Yeah,
I
of course.
lost all my hair, everything with chemo. With the oral chemo, I really suffered with neuropathy. And
I remember
neuropathy
you
is-
told me about that.
Yeah, the nerve damage. And I'll be honest, though, some of the side effects have not gone. They still linger around here and there. My legs. After chemo, the first 3-4 days, it's not easy. You're
It's not.
vomiting. I had my girls after my chemos where I was over this toilet vomiting, and one would come and rub my back and say, "Oh, Mama, what's up, Mama?"
So sweet.
The other one used to come and tell me, "Mama, play, Mama, play." So they both balance me.
Yes.
For me, honestly, the cancer journey and chemo it really taught me to slow down and appreciate life.
I think that's something we don't do right now.
There's
Slowing down is not something
that would happen in my life right now, and I'd be like, all over the place. And then right now it's just like, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, we were told that if there was a relapse, the chances of survival are very low. And Bunny also took over like a lot of responsibilities for the female side.
That's so good.
They just tell him whatever they need to, and they're not scared.
And isn't that amazing? That's beautiful.